Hey, it's Joe. Got another question. This one is from Rodney Rhoades. Rodney says, I'm a realtor. What are the rules for putting a house under contract with a motivated seller for the lowest price possible to flip to an investor without backlash from my principal broker or disclosure rules? Well, first of all, you need to have a conversation with your principal broker. Make sure that he's okay with you selling properties. Some brokers want to take a commission every time you sell a property, even if you own that property. The way we're doing these deals is as the principal in the transaction, not as an agent. And if we have a license, which I do, I've had a broker's license for over 20 years. If you have a license, then you just need to disclose that you have a license and that you are not representing anyone in this transaction except yourself, and that you're working as a principal in the transaction. Now, if your broker is okay with that, then great. Then you can do the deals and you can make the profits in the deals. And most brokers are going to be willing to do that. If they're not, then you got to find out why. And there are going to be some. One of the things, first of all, if you're an agent, it usually makes sense to work with a 100% broker, which means you pay them monthly, and you keep all your commission. There are a lot of franchises that do that. There's even small companies. You can work with some old broker if you don't have your broker's license, or you can go out and get your broker's license and be your own principal in the deal. If not, you've got to talk to them because they still have a purview over what you're doing. They have the right to look at what you're doing and approve it or reject it because their license is on the line and their profits are on the line. So they may want to cut in the deal. If you're a 100% broker and you're paying them monthly for a desk space or whatever, or just to hang their license there, then you don't have to worry about those things. So it makes it a little bit easier. If you're a broker and you're doing this business, then it makes sense to keep people on a commission basis. So they're giving you half of their commission. And you can use the systems that I'm teaching to develop leads for them, and then you can take a piece of this action from them, and you can have them doing the work and taking a chunk of that income for yourself and your brokerage. And you'll find a lot of people do that because a lot of agents out there don't know how to develop leads. They don't know how to bring business in. So that's why so many of them are starving. They know how to do real estate. They know how to put a deal together. They know how to close a deal. They know how to help people find the best property out there. But they don't know how to bring those people in the first place. Again, I've talked about this over and over again. The most important thing you can do in business is marketing. That's the only profit center. Everything else is just fulfilling the service that you're getting paid for. All right, so he's got a second question here. I'm going to go ahead and answer it. What can a realtor do wrong in the for rent method, and how should the deal be set up so everyone is happy? My office only does listings. That's all they show me, and that's all they're teaching me. I could care less about listings because I saw investing first. I feel they'll frown on me for being an investor because they won't make money from the listing, and I'm expected to reach a $15,000 cap, and then all my deals are 100%. So anyway, and he tells me which company he's with. What I would do first of all is go have a talk with your broker. See if you can come to terms on what you're trying to accomplish and how you want to do business, and see if they're willing to work with you. You can bring in a lot of leads, and if you give him a cut of what you're doing, it can work out really well for you. So it's okay to give him a cut if it makes sense for you. But you're going to find that if you're driving the business and you're the rainmaker, if all the leads are coming from you, then you should get the lion's share of that profit. So that's how you want to set up your business, whether you're working with this brokerage or another brokerage, or you become a broker yourself. So keep all these things in mind as you go through this process. This is one of the best businesses in the world for a real estate agent. So many of my students have been real estate agents who have been in the doldrums with their listings and sales, and suddenly they start marketing using the system that we've got here. And it brings them in buyers and sellers constantly. People that want to sell their property but can't. Well, if you're giving them options and saying, well, we can do a lease option with this property, we can do subject to, we can do a land contract, or we can do a cash deal, or we can do a cash deal, an under market cash deal, or I can get you full market value cash deal by listing your property. I can do that for you as well. So you can give them all these different options and still make money in the transaction. And that's the biggest problem that a lot of agents have. They go and they'll do a listing appointment with someone, and that person doesn't have much equity, or you have to take all their equity in order to pay the commissions. And it's not just you that's getting commission, it's your broker, it's the co-op agent that you're working with. So, you know, you may pay 6% commission, but maybe only 1.5% of that goes to the actual guy who's got the listing, because after he's paid his broker and all this. So if you're in that situation as an agent, you probably need to restructure your business. You need to think about how you're set up and decide whether or not it makes sense to do that. A lot of agents stay with percentage brokers because they don't want that monthly money coming out of their pocket. They're afraid of that. I know when I became an agent, I worked as a 50-50 split with my company the first few months. It was the first 5 or 6 months. And then I sat down at the end of that 6 months and I looked at the numbers, and I realized I would have made 3 times as much money with the amount of deals that I did just as a newbie at the beginning. And I wasn't any hotshot agent at the beginning. I was just doing a few deals. But I would have made that much more money at the beginning if I had been with a 100% broker. So it made more sense for me to switch over to a 100% broker. And I also talked to my existing broker at that time and said, what if we change the way we do business together and we do a commission this way instead? And they said no. So that made it make sense for me to move and go to a different place. Be an agent and be an investor. When you start marketing as an investor, as a buyer, it's a whole lot different than marketing as an agent. Nobody wants to talk to an agent, but everybody wants to talk to a buyer. And when you're talking to sellers, which is who's going to give you your listings, you want to go to them as a buyer. All right, hope that helps. Good luck, Rodney.